EnableMe versus Opes Partners. What's the actual difference? That's what Katie asked at one of our recent webinars, and it's a really good question because EnableMe specialises in financial planning and strategy, but it also has a property investment business, Momentum Realty. So both Opes and EnableMe can help you buy a new build investment property. So if you're about to invest, you might wonder, well, should I use Opes or should I use EnableMe? And to be clear, this video, it's on the Opes Partners YouTube channel, and I work for Opes, so I am about to talk about a competitor. But I believe in being blatantly honest, so here's the truth. Some people are better off using EnableMe. That's why you're about to learn the top 7 differences between EnableMe and Opes, so you can decide who is the right property investment company for you. I'm Ed, an economist here at Opes Partners, and this is Property Now. EnableMe's core service is financial planning and strategy. Now, part of that is budgeting, which is helping you be better with money. They can also help you find a new build investment property and also help you out with your KiwiSaver through some of their sister companies. But they don't have in-house mortgage advisors and they don't have in-house property managers. They recommend Squirrel for mortgages and different property managers all around New Zealand. So your EnableMe coach will help you set the criteria for your investment property. Then you might work with Momentum Realty to choose the property, and you'll use external mortgage advisors, external property managers. Here at Opes, we don't do budgeting. We don't do managed funds. We don't do KiwiSaver. We only do property. Now, what that means is you can purchase your new build investment property through Opes. Then we can also help you out with the mortgage, with the property management, and also the property accounting. So if you want to have all of your money-related services like shares, property, KiwiSaver, you want that all in one place, EnableMe can be a really good fit for you. But if you'd prefer to have all your property in one place, so choosing the new build to invest in, mortgage broking, property management, property accounting, then Opes could be the better fit. Difference number 2 is cost. Now here at Opes, we don't charge for our advice. Instead, we keep the lights on by charging the developer a marketing fee when you buy a new build through us. Now, if you want to work with EnableMe, you'll need to become a client and then pay a fee. Now, they charge around $3,000 to $12,500 for their coaching, depending on what you specifically need. And to be clear, if you then buy a new build through Momentum Realty, they'll also charge the developer of the property fee as well. So if you work with EnableMe's group of companies, they'll charge both you and the developer a fee. If you work with Opes Partners, we only charge the developer a fee. Now, some investors, they genuinely prefer to pay a fee for their financial advice, even though the company also earns a commission. And if you're that sort of investor, EnableMe is probably going to be that better fit for you. Now, if you don't want to pay for your financial advice, Opes could be the better fit. Both Momentum Realty, which is EnableMe's sister company, and Opes recommend new builds to property investors. You can buy a new build through them. But around half the properties Momentum Realty recommends are progressive payments builds. The other half are turnkey contracts. Now, I want to bring this up because progressive payments builds tend to have more hidden interest costs. And they don't always include everything you need to rent the property, though EnableMe have told us that their properties often include everything you need to rent it out, so make sure you check that out if you're working with them. Now, in my view, progressive payments are higher risk, and you can watch this video where I go through a property on TradeMe that had $70,000 of hidden costs to find out why. But here's the thing, progressive payment properties can be the right fit for some investors, so if that's you, EnableMe is probably going to be the better fit. Opes, on the other hand, we only focus on turnkey contracts. That's where you pay a fixed price to the developer and you don't pay as much money while the property is being built. Now, if you want a turnkey property, then yes, Opes could help you out, but don't forget EnableMe also has turnkey properties. But if you want progressive payments, EnableMe is going to be the right fit for you. Momentum Realty's properties tend to have a higher price tag than the ones we recommend here at Opes. You see, the median price of the properties on their website at the time of recording is $815,000. Now, we did the same analysis for the 118 properties we had on our stock list on the same day. Our median price of a property was $699,000, about $116K less. Now, on the whole, our properties tend to have a lower price tag. Our cheapest property at the time of recording was $400K, their one was $500K. Their most expensive property was $1.4 million. Most expensive property we had was $950K. To be clear, That doesn't mean their properties are overpriced. They recommend different areas, so that higher price could represent fair value based on the area and property type that they're recommending. But if you have more money and can afford a higher priced property, EnableMe could be a good fit for you. If you can't afford a more expensive property or just don't want to pay that much, then Opes might be a better fit for you. And if you like learning about property in this upfront, honest way, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We release new videos every Monday and Wednesday. And if you do already subscribe, you'll know that we've got to talk about the regions we both recommend. Opes and EnableMe's group of companies recommend properties in different regions. You see, right now, Momentum Property has properties in Gisborne and Northland and Southland and even parts of Waikato Bay of Plenty. These are not the areas I'm recommending right now. I'm currently really big on Auckland, Canterbury, parts of Otago, parts of Wellington as well. Now, to be fair, EnableMe also recommends properties in those areas, but not as many. We've got 49 properties currently in Auckland, they've got 9, we've got 52 in Canterbury, they've got 25 right now. So Momentum Realty and EnableMe do recommend a higher number of areas than we do here at Opes. So if you only want a property in Gisborne or only want a property in Northland, we will not be the right fit for you. We don't have properties there because we don't think they're the right places to invest right now. But if you want a wider selection of properties in the main cities that we currently recommend, Auckland, Canterbury, Wellington, parts of Otago, then Opes could be a good fit. But there's also a difference in where we recommend properties within each region. And I want to show you the data currently for Auckland. EnableMe tend to prefer standalone houses on the outskirts of different cities. Of the 9 properties they currently have available in Auckland, most are very North Auckland, so Warkworth or up on the Hibiscus Coast, or very south down in Hanua. If you compare that to the 49 properties we currently have at Opes, most of them are closer to the city centre, whether it be West Auckland or down in South Auckland as well. Now, if you prefer investing in standalone houses on the fringes of a city, EnableMe and Momentum Realty could be a really good fit. But if you'd prefer more central properties, Opes Partners could be the better choice for you. According to their website, Momentum Realty, which is EnableMe's sister company, currently work with 11 developers, and this includes some really well-known names like Wolfbrook or Golden Homes. Mike Greer's also on the list. On the other hand, Opes Partners, we currently work with around 97 developers, and we list them all on the website. You can click through and see them as well. And although we don't work with them all at the same time, we've got a large number of developers we can go out to, and this provides more choice for investors. But it does mean that we work with some developers who you might not have heard of before. Now, from my experience, smaller developers are often worth considering. They've got smaller teams, so they tend to charge lower prices because they've got lower costs. But if you'd prefer a big name developer, then either EnableMe or Opes could be a good fit. We've got some of them too. But if you'd prefer to give a smaller developer a go, then Opes is likely a better fit. EnableMe's founder, Hannah McQueen, started and up until recently was the main owner of the business, but it has just been purchased by Advice First Limited. Now, that company is owned by AMP New Zealand Holdings, which is owned by AMP Holdings Australia, which is listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. So EnableMe is now Australian owned. Opes Partners, on the other hand, is Kiwi owned, and the people who own the company work in the business. Now, some investors really care about who owns the company. For others, doesn't make a blind bit of difference. But either way, the choice is yours. Ultimately, you can choose to work with either Opes or EnableMe, but some people actually just use both. They use EnableMe for budgeting and Opes to buy a new build investment property. After all, in my view, EnableMe is the best at helping Kiwis be better with budgeting, and Opes, hey, we're not too bad at property either.